Hey there, it's KV, and I have come to give you a bit of a reading, and I actually haven't even really looked at the full moon or looked at the astrology, so it's always about that, but I don't have any little details of times or whatever to give you because this is more just what I'm feeling that I wanted to tell you about. And please bear with me because I'm really tired, and I just got back from a hike, and I'm like super duper fatigued. So and I was like, really do a reading? But I really wanted to because I was out in town for a little while before I went on my hike, and the energy was so dense and heavy and like kind of the most, and you're always going to hear me say this, I always talk like that, the most, the best, the, I define things that way, but that means like for real, when I give it that kind of thing. But so this was like the most like fearful I've felt. And I'm sure I've talked at other times and came through and gave readings for you when I felt this, but right now it's like, whoa. And I was like, whoa. And it's the, that's the thing, is it's like this energy is contagious. So if you're in it and you're feeling it, so you're expressing it, and you're just adding to this really dense, very frightening, it didn't even like, it was weird how like I couldn't even feel it though, like more than a superficial thing that helped me know what it was, but it kind of bounced off me because I'm just like, I don't believe in that. It's like once you go to the other side and find the hope vibe, which is the truth, once you understand about this being energy, and what you're thinking is what is manifesting, like, didn't I say this in the end of 2013 about, it's going to be so fast for us in 2014. It's going to be like boom. But so what is going on right now is just a lot of people thinking the worst, fearing their sustainability, fearing they'll be able to keep this going, fearing that they'll ever figure out what they want to do with their life, fearing that they're maybe just big losers destined to suffer, fearing that they'll never be good enough, fearing that nobody will love them, fearing that they'll never have enough money. And then like them collectively then like sending that out, and everybody's sending that out, and it's like, and then on top of it there's so many things like with the government, and I don't know if I should get into that. If I do, I'll have to give a warning that if you can't handle the truth, cover your ears, because some of us just don't want to hear it, and I respect that. I love to hear it, and I need to hear it, so I naturally want to share it, but I won't necessarily bring that up right now, I don't think, but I probably will though. Oh, there's a lot of energies at hand at work with keeping everybody in this low density, fear-based mentality. There's actually an ultimate plan at work that is all about doing that. And so all these things are being orchestrated by our government, by other higher powers that be, the government of us, and it is to keep everybody really down and in fear. And there's a whole reason for that, which is what I don't know that I will express in this video, but there's a whole reason for it. It's a whole game kind of thing going on. So what I really wanted to do was come on here and tell you, like when I first started my business with doing readings and my birth chart books, back in '99, I just noticed, as the years would go on, I think I was saying it within the first year, but I was like, oh my gosh, I so attract the big game players. I was so like, oh my gosh, the people who are really doing big things, like they find me for this information. And then I even started saying that I do birth chart books for the big game players. I was like, I do this for, the people who are really going to change this world, the ones who are really doing big things. And it's always been that way. way. It's not like I don't really attract the masses, you know, they don't even see me or they think I'm crazy or something. But these people who are like really different and doing big things, they find me and I'm here to empower them. So I knew that right away when I started this work, you know. So anyway, if you're here now, you know, you're one of these powerful beings who are bringing in the new world way. You are. Otherwise, you would not be able to tolerate me. Like, if you're not one of them, you can't stand me, you know. But if you are, you love me because you can feel like you know that I can touch this part of you and activate it and awaken it so that you know your truth. You know that I got your back, you know. You know that I am on your wavelength. I'm not out to hurt you. I'm here to help you. And your body knows that, which is why you even find me. You know, it's all energy, everything. It's all energy. So that's what's going on, and that's why you're here. And what I've been called to tell you guys is that you guys are the leaders in holding a safe and positive vibe. And you guys are the ones who have to stand in this shit storm, you know, that is so fearful and so scary, and your gut hurts. You're like, oh my God, just feeling all this stuff. Like, you have to sit in that and find the way to be calm and trusting, and to remember that every one of your thoughts is manifesting, you know, every one of them. You can't just have like, oh yeah, I was bitching and complaining about this thing and da-da-da, but that doesn't really matter. Yes, it does. It always matters. You know, and the only thing that's a positive about us doing that kind of thing is that we can then learn from it and be like, you know what? I don't want to think like that. I don't want to act like that. I don't want to react like that. You know, I don't want to express my life like that. I don't want to get mad like that. I don't want to think conniving things like that. I don't want to be a cheater like that. I don't want to be a liar like that. Whatever. You know, it's okay that we do these things, but we have to awaken to that we don't want to put that energy out there, because when we put any one of those things that I just named, we're contributing to the dark, we're contributing to the dense, and we're harming ourselves. Because like I told you at the end of 2013, things are magnetizing like that. They are so fast, they are so fast, they are so fast. And that's where I said the camps would start to divide this year, with the people who are living in the higher ways and magnetizing every one of their dreams, and then the people living in the lower ones and just going lower and down and in a whirlwind of like the most chaotic and horrible experiences manifesting. You know, we are all so in control of that. We're not in control of a lot, honestly. That's why life is about surrendering and trusting and believing the best, but we are in control of how we define this linear moment that we are in right now, and we are in control of magnetizing our future through what we're thinking right now. And so you guys are the ones who you guys are the ones who are supposed to be like this, you know, Aquarius Nation army, you know, this other one, this one of love, this one of hope, this one of we can get through this one of awakening to everybody that they're manifesting this stuff. And, you know, I feel so much sympathy. I feel so much, what do I feel? I feel so much, I feel so much compassion, because a lot of people are in this position where they really can't get out of it. And I didn't even think that would be possible, but I've been learning a lot more about the government and like some people who, how do I even put this? Some people who have had every rug pulled out from under them, and almost like this was the plan to keep them down, to keep them so down that, you know, I was telling someone the other day, I was like, I mean, like if you didn't have food and you didn't have, and you had kids and you had to take care of them and whatever, and food stamps just got cut and unemployment got cut, you know, a year ago, and yet 15 billion will just be sent to for military at the end of the same sentence. You know, like it's like, wait, what? But so like I was like, if you were in that situation, you would steal. You absolutely would. You would do anything to get food into your baby's bellies, you know? And so there's a lot of people who have been put in these really these really unfortunate positions where it's really hard for them to get out. And it's not fair that people can just throw out negative energy about, oh, you know, that's whatever. I can't even think of the words they would say, but how people pick on people who are down and out, you know? And it's like, how can you even do that? Like, you know, you have no idea when there is a large group of, there is something with the way the government is working that is just trying to create an even bigger gap between people with a lot of money and people with no money. And it's getting dire, and these people have every right to be freaking out. I feel like we need to get off our asses right now and change things right now, because they're at the end. They're freaking out, and we would be too. And anybody who's on here now who's in that situation is like that too, of like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't have money, there's no jobs, da da da. And there is a really big job for you all to hold that space of, it's going to be okay and we're going to get through this. And that's why, like, any bit of humanitarian work you can do that is giving of any resource that you have, whether it's time, money, love, you know, anything, a smile. Like I said, we have to empower these people that are down there that really have no faith in us and have no faith in the government and have no faith in life. And if we walked even one moment in their life, we would see what they were, what they mean by that, you know. And I just saw people in Katrina too, that just flashed in my mind, in Louisiana, I mean. But after Katrina, you know, they're just that, or, you know, that's why that flashed in my mind, because if you guys have ever watched, that's one of my favorite movies for what I tell everybody has to watch, is When the Levees Broke, and Spike Lee narrates it, and it's a 3 CD thing. It's huge, and it's unbelievable. It's but that's what flashed in my mind, which is funny because it was where no help came for like 3, 4, I can't remember how many days, but no help came. Like, they were kept from racing to help them for some reason. So they were freaking out. They were like, what is going on? Nobody is coming. Nobody is coming. And watch it. You'll see. It's amazing. And not amazing in a good way. Amazing in a shocking way. And where you're like, what? But so anyway, there's a lot of people who are holding this very dense space because they are really scared, and there's no point in us putting them down, judging them. Anybody who's down and out, like, we have to step forward and love them. You know, we have to step forward and show them that it's going to be okay in any way we can. You know, like, any small way is, every little act is so important. You know, every good deed is so important. And that's the thing too, is what you need to realize, especially any of you who are down and out and miserable, because it's a huge group of you right now. You've all taken on these energies, and now you're freaking out, and you're forgetting that you're magnetizing more of it because you're so in it and it feels so ick, and I know that. But one of the really quick ways to get out of it is to do something good for somebody else. You know, even like I said, if it's you have $5 left and you give one of them to some guy, like today, this guy who wanted to clean my windshield, and I was like, oh, my car's so messy. I'm like, that wouldn't even matter, but I'll give you something. But like where I live, and it's like mud, and yeah, so yeah, so yeah, any little thing that you can do, you know, just to kind of get out of your own situation and stop magnetizing the miserableness of it, or how nothing is working out, or how it's not what you thought, and how you wish you could go back, and whatever. But you know, just kind of step out of yourself. It's really important that we just show people that we care, because there's something really scary going on right now, and it's out of control. It's gone out of control, and us, you know, you people here and all these other ones that, you know, are out there who haven't found me yet, who I hope they find me. You guys are here to hold that it's going to be okay. Like, you guys are the leaders, you know, and it's scary being a leader in uncharted territory, but at the same time, it's really exciting, you know. But, you know, we have to step up and do these jobs. We have to step up and be these people. And if we do step up and be these people, our lives will come together in such a powerful, amazing, blissed out way. You know, if you can, like, come forward and be this strong, solid, anchored into the ground, not linear, just this moment, oh my God, I'm gonna freak out, but overall view of, like, I just trust this. I just trust life. I just trust the higher power. I've had too many coincidences and pieces of magic not to know that something really special is happening, and it always just does what it's supposed to do. And everything that knocked me to my behind and made me want to give up, I always now see something new about it, or it doesn't affect me anymore, or whatever. But you know, we have to go to that position. We have to be strong. We have to be strong. We have to be these warriors and warrioresses, you know. We have to hold this space of, I am a survivor. You know, I will get through this. I trust this. I am okay. And this is where we have to do these things, like you heard me drop a rock earlier, you know. I went and had the best acupuncture appointment ever by this person that everybody had told me is the best, is the best, is the best, and I always love that best. But I have to hear it for a couple years so that I really know this person is the best, and then I go. But she made a big point of me always needing to have rocks in my hands, and she is so right. But we need to ground ourselves. We need to ground ourselves. We need to anchor into this, remembering that, you know, even how, you know, I told you with that death threat thing that I got, which I've totally changed my life, because that was the thing. If I changed my life as of January 22nd, I could divert this. I started doing yoga too, because I was never into it. I've always been like the fast and the action and the, you know, stuff, and the yoga. I was like, I couldn't do that. I would be bored with that. But I don't feel that way now, and now I love it. But even doing that, like, it's just, we have to connect to our bodies. We have to slow down. We have to chill out. We need to have attitude adjustments. We really just need to awaken to everything we're thinking is manifesting. And this isn't a rule that only applies at times. It isn't a rule that only applies when I tell you. You know, I'm just going to tell you over and over because you're forgetting. We're all forgetting. We're learning. Everything is trial and error here. And I'm going blank a lot tonight. I'm not allowed to go off on little things, because the moment I do, I lose it. But oh yeah, tuning into our body. So we like have to, you know, really get into our body. It's just the best way for us to stay anchored and grounded. And I know that, like, I am really fortunate where I live, you know, because I'm not out in the world, but it's not like I wasn't before, you know. So I know that a lot of you are like in cities or around a lot of people and traffic, and it's hard to stay cool, and I know that, but it's not impossible. And you're just going to have to figure out what those tools are, whether it's like meditation music, you know, yoga first thing in the morning, changing your diet, like, I don't know, whatever will come to you. You can ask your body, like, what do I need to do? Because honestly, to really ground ourselves and regroup, it doesn't need like a day at the spa, you know. We really don't. We really just, that's funny. You know, you can just sit on the back of a tree. You can just do something that is so just like quick, and you can reboot. But we have to get control of our minds. We've got to get control of these, because we're just like out of control and thinking it's still okay to think these thoughts sometimes when it's really not. And when they're happening, there's always lessons to it. There's always insight to it. There's always something like annoying us, wanting us to change. It's mostly just like, wake up calls like that, but also trying to get us to a place of like not getting so worked up over things, not getting so angry over things, short-tempered over things. But another thing that is a really big reason why a lot of you have been so miserable. I mean, this is the year of illnesses. Everyone's been so sick. Everyone's been so miserable. Everyone's been so frightened. It's just been a weird year. But if we're magnetizing our thoughts, is it weird, or is it just a mirror, or is it just the truth of what's really going on inside of people's beings that they're not showing? But so I wanted to give this example because I have the best learning experience that I went through, and I'm so thankful for it now because I've seen like the whole road of it. But anyway, so at the end of last year, I had come up with this thing I wanted to do, and I decided to come in and I said yes to this thing. And right before it was about to manifest and I was actually going to walk this thing I was saying I was going to do, I got really big warning signs in my body. And I got really big like, something's not right here, something's not right here, something's not right here, And then I did that thing where, I was like, well, it looks okay, and it sounds okay. I'm just supposed to trust my gut, Like, oh, I think it's okay. I think I don't know why that stuff's coming to me. I don't know, because I do that kind of thing often. I'll talk myself out of it. And so anyway, I went through with it, and then a couple days into the year, I get chicken pox, which I never got as a kid. I'm really like strong immune system thing. I don't get things, I have migraines. That's my worst thing that happens to me, but I don't get sick. So I get chicken pox right after that. Then what ended up happening was I did this other thing that was a good thing, but I forgot something to do with it. I forgot a really important detail about it, which if I would have been on 100% power in my body, I would have recognized that. I would have been like, oh, you need to do that too. So I didn't. So I ended up getting chicken pox. I was down and out. Then I did this other thing. And then I went through an entire month of wanting to die, thinking I was the biggest loser, thinking I wasn't important, thinking nothing I did was valuable, thinking not even recognizing myself in the mirror, feeling like I waking up like scowling, like I was just not comfortable, like what is wrong? And I was like, what is wrong? What is wrong? And I was thinking I was going to lose everything that I've built. I was thinking I'm not competent. I mean, everything that was like the worst thing ever, I felt every single day for almost like a month, or a little over a month. Every so often I would have a couple days where I felt like, like 70% in my power, but then the very next day it would go down, and I was describing it, felt like 20% of my power. I didn't have my power. I wasn't in my body. It wasn't me. So anyway, so then that happened, and then I had the death thing come through, and then I started doing yoga. And then from doing yoga, I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, basically, I fully remembered again that I didn't honor my intuition back at the end of the year. And it just came to me so strong that, and then on the same day, it came to me so strong that way. And I also, in talking to somebody else, righted that other thing that I did wrong. That I don't want to give all these details, so sorry if this is like just wrong things, wrong. So anyway, on this day, I finally cut the cord of that, and I was like, okay, I can't do that anymore. My intuition told me not to do it, and now look at how my life just was for this whole time. So I cut it, not even really knowing what would happen, except I knew, I didn't know, we don't need to know reasons for anything when our intuition speaks to us. Like, that's a natural tendency, is to do the duality, and one person's wrong, one person's right. Oh, like you meet a guy guy and you just don't feel good about him, you can be like, oh, well, there's probably something sketchy about him, or da-da-da-da. But you don't even need to go there. We don't need to do that thing. It doesn't matter. It may be nothing. The whole test may be just for you to listen to your intuition. But so I cut the cord and I totally severed it. I was like, I can't do that anymore. My intuition told me not to do that, and I did it. And basically what happened was, it was like, we have a really distinct path in our life. And sometimes we can get away from it, and then something will bring us back to it. I mean, it might be years down the way. It might never happen if we keep fighting everything, but ultimately we have a path that is ours, and when we're on it, these things just happen, you know. And when you're living it and loving it and honoring this path of yours, these magical things, they just keep coming and they just keep happening. But like what happened with me when I didn't listen to my intuition, it was like that was the warning of the bup, 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 you know, on the road, on the highway. And then I still said, oh, that's okay, you know, I'm going to trust my mind. You know, I'm going to trust what my mind says instead. And it took me off my path, even though I heard the bup, 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 you know. And that was the intuition going, wait, are you sure you want to leave your path? Are you sure you want to go off to this other thing? Are you sure? Are you sure? And then so I did. And then that's when I got chickenpox, and then I did this other thing. So once you're off your path, you just keep magnetizing, boom, 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 not good things, you know, one thing after another. That's why so many of you are like, oh my God, it's one thing after another. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? You know, so from me walking this, now I can look at people in this and go, when did you stop listening to your intuition? Like, what was the first thing? Go back in time to when you first did not listen to something you were told to do, and now your life has become what this is now. You know, whether it's something like being with someone, moving to somewhere, believing in a job opportunity, believing in an artistic expression thing. I mean, it can be anything, but like, I just know that everyone who is living these kind of things where it's just nothing's cohesive and nothing's coming together and everything is like, what? Because like, I was like losing my mind for that month. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was like the worst feeling I've ever in my life felt. I mean, it was like almost worse than my Saturn return. It was just like, it was so icky and like, ugh. But it was like in 2014 now, if you don't listen to your intuition, and if you go, no, 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 I think I need to keep this job at this store, you know, or no, 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 I don't think I can make money doing my creative gift, so I better just stay working at Trader Joe's or something because the money's good and the benefits are good, and, you know, but like if your gut is telling you, you know, you're a writer, or, you know, if your gut's telling you like, you know, you have this really good gift with healing work, or, you know, whatever your gut is telling you about some creative project or some, you know, being a musician and like making a living from it, and, you know, anything, you just have to listen to it. And it was funny because my friend was going down to Truth or Consequences down in New Mexico. And I was like, that's totally what this time is about now in 2014. If you don't follow your truth, you know, if you don't honor what your body says, and if you don't honor the guides that are speaking to you and nudging you and planting seeds in you, if you don't honor that, you're going to pay the consequences, you know, and like big time now, you know, like what I just walked trips me out. And this is why I bet, you know, because I know, like I said, there's a couple camps out there. Some people are having a great time right now. Some people are like, oh my gosh. And then a lot, the majority, it feels like, are really like, oh my gosh, you know, and like, I can't believe this. So you just gotta, I want everybody on this, watching this right now to, like, if you have that, just kind of do some kind of soul searching and go back and see, like, what has your intuition been telling you that you're not honoring, you know? And even if it's like a relationship, you know, whatever, it's like it's speaking to you, you know. And the thing is our minds are so powerful. These are the ones who are manifesting all this nasty stuff in our lives right now. But our minds are saying, no, 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 you can't listen to that. You know, that's like existential or something. You can't listen to that. You can't trust that. And all I can tell you is the moment I put myself back on track, and they even said sever that completely, you know, and I severed every kind of like possible provocation or re-entry into my life. And what happened was like it was like, let me try to think of an analogy for this. I mean, the simplest thing was that my light was out the entire month, a little over a month, and the moment I severed it, like the very moment, not even like 5 minutes later, not even like, you know, there was no gray area time for things to come back on. The light was flipped back on, and I was just like, oh, like, me again. I was like, I mean, it's just been nuts. Ever since then, I have had, I don't know if it's like 10, 11 days. I can't remember how many days it's been, but I have felt so amazingly good. Like, I have just been so, like, full of dreams and full of focus and full of passion and full of faith and full of love and full of happiness and full of joy and full of like yes, you know. And I was wanting to describe this to I was telling my friend how I wanted to describe this, but what it really was feeling like to me is how you know, when you go back in like your early 20s, or when you go back, it depends on how old you are, but there's always this time that you go back into your mind of the good old days, but you can almost smell how carefree it felt, you know, you can almost smell how great it felt. Your mind naturally goes back to those times and has these really kind of euphoric feelings of how it used to be, but it's so different now, and you can't even imagine ever having that again. And what happened for me was, once I honored my intuition and said no, even though there was no reason to, it was completely the trusting of the gut. You know, the mind is what kept me in it, because there was nothing to see in physical form to believe this other thing. But the moment it was cut, like, I went back to that like 20s, or like, I went right back to that feeling, and I've had it now for like, you know, like I said, 10, 11, 12 days. I can't even remember. It's been just so absolute. And now everything is like tick, 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 click, 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 and just like, and like better than it's ever been. So I was wondering too this year, I was like, hey, where's all the 2014 energies I was talking about, you know? I was like, I'm not feeling like that. I want to die. I'm a loser. I don't even think I can, like, I'm going to have to unplug Aquarius Nation, because it's like, you know. But oh, that's something too, unplug. That's what, so anything to like with provocation, there's the provocation that is to teach you lessons about yourself, and you know that one because it's pushing buttons in you. That's a different kind of provocation. But something where your gut tells you like, I'm not, you know, or, okay, so you break up with someone and you have not been able to let them go, and you're just like, and I use the word obsessed, but you don't have to think of it in a bad way like that, but where you can't get them off your mind, where you want to go check on their Facebook page again, where you want to go look, you want to find something on them, you want to know something, you're there, what are they doing, are they da-da-da-da-da, you know, it's obsessed, but I know you don't want to use that word, but so consumed, we'll say. So with that kind of thing, it's really important that it's severed. Sever, sever, sever. You don't want any of it around you. You don't want anything to do with it. So you really have to do this thing like unplugging it, and like really physically unplugging it. You know, it's that thing where like you have to stop yourself from going to their Facebook page, or keep like looking, asking people about him, you know, getting information, peeking over, like anything, like if anybody like is provoking you in a way where you just feel negative thoughts about them, or you're envious of them, or you're jealous of them, or you hate them, or you wish you had what they had, or whatever you can admit you're feeling about them, it's really important that you unplug from them. You know, no matter what, you have to just stop that provocation, because if you can just do it for a little while, it's like cigarettes, like once you quit it, you just have to get a little bit of time of not doing it, and then it's like nothing, you're not thinking about it anymore. But there's this hot spot period after you separate from it where you're going to want to go back and check. You're going to want to go into it again. You're going to want to think about them. You're going to want to whatever. And then you can get so drawn. You can either get drawn back in, or you can stay in this attached space to it where you're not growing and nothing's going to work in your life anymore. Or that was dramatic, but where things aren't going to work because you're giving your energy to this thing that's dead and that doesn't want you anyway, or isn't good for you anyway. But you're giving your energy to it, and you won't admit again that you're giving your energy to it, but you are, because you're thinking about it and you're going back to it and it's upsetting you, so you gave it your energy. Maybe it's like you're going to bed and then you think, oh, I'm gonna go look at his chart, or his chart. Everything's chart with me, everything's work, or it's not work though, it's play. I was like, that word didn't sound right. It's heaven. Facebook page, right? Yeah, so you go, oh, I'm gonna go look at their page, and then you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, or like he has a picture of a girl or whatever it could be, but then you feel sick to your stomach, and then you can't get it off your mind, and then you go to bed carrying it, and then you wake up in the morning again, it's your first thought. So just kind of think of the cigarettes thing, or breaking a habit. You just need to put some distance between the separation, and then then you can start this healing, and it can naturally just come out of your body, kind of like a poisoning thing, and you got to get it out of your body, but if you still keep taking it more on, you're never going to get out of it. So that's something important for us right now, because everything right now is trying to train your brain to know it's going to be okay, you're going to get through this, you're not a loser. And that's why, too, after feeling that way, I've heard a lot of people come to me and say they feel like that all the time. And that really amped me up even more with my mission to get to these people and show them a new way of living life, because that was horrible. And I cannot imagine that so many people feel like this on a daily basis. Like, that breaks my heart. But what that really did, I'm thankful for it, because one, it showed me how powerful our energies and thoughts are right now, but it really got a fire under my butt to help people and to find out what this is. But I can tell you it's something you're just denying. I can tell you it's what it is. It's not listening to the intuition, because if you were honoring what you're being told, even though it's scary and risky as hell, I know. I mean, I leapt off a cliff to make my dreams work. I had nothing but black hole down below, but I had to believe in it, because I was like, I think that what I'm doing is important, and I think that what I'm doing is good, and I think that this can help people, and I'm just going to believe it, even though I've got $5 to my name and have and I don't have a side job. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to leave over the cliff, jump over the cliff, and I did, and it's been great. And everything's been great. It's been so superland. So I know that you're not destined to be a loser. I know that you're not destined to fail. And I know that there's something that you're not honoring that's scary for you to honor. But until you honor it, you won't be on your path. You won't be put onto that nice, middle of the road, comfortable ride. But there's the need to be patient and compassionate with that, because there are several, it's like, think about if we stopped, honoring our intuition for decades, or something. And not even that you don't listen to your intuition, but that's something that you were always supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to do this. This is what you're here to do. But that you couldn't really believe in it because you let programming and people's fears scared you into going out and realizing it. So that's why I say we have to be compassionate, because we have heard a lot of scary messages were planted into us about how you can't do this, and you can't make a living doing that. And, you know, I can't tell you how many people I meet who I tell them I want to move to New Zealand, although it may be Greece or Italy. I don't know. I have no idea. I have to stay open. But they go, oh, it's really hard to get in there as an adult. Like somebody always comes at me with something like telling me I can't. And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, they'll love me. I'm like, I'll win them over in no time. That's not even something that like that even like flickers a possibility. I'm like, then I'd figure something else out, or some miracle would happen, or I know that they take authors, so if I can get a book published, you know, like, I'm an author, okay, come on in. So whatever, like I'm going to limit myself like that, you know, but we have had these training, we've had this ingrained patterns of fear, 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 you can't do, can't do, can't do. So, you know, we have to be gentle with it. It takes a minute to step into the abundance vibration, but I'll tell you what, it's worth getting there, you know, it's worth finding your way there. It's worth peeling away all these things so that you can find that. And, oh, I want this to not be so long. Oh, I have this amazing message. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do an astrology video too after this, because I need to talk about Mercury retrograde, but I kind of don't feel like it, and I want to eat. I'm hungry. So I just want to do one more thing, because this is just an energy message, you know, kind of energy alert thing. So I got the most awesome message, and oh yeah, because there's a whole bunch of things I want to talk about. But I got the most awesome message, and it was told to people. I was supposedly, I guess there's a lot of people out there who are in their 60s who have gravitated towards me, and I think that is wonderful. That makes me so happy. But anyway, so I was told that there's a group, everybody who's watching now who's in the 60s, who is already spiritually acclimated, has been, you know, in this world for a while. You're probably very knowledgeable, actually, and you don't have a job, and you have had a really hard time and don't feel like success has come to you in this life, and feel like it's just never really worked out the way you thought. Every one of you guys, I was told, I got the most beautiful message that I was supposed to direct it exactly those words I told you, and that you're all supposed to write books. Every one of you, you're supposed to write books. So that's what was told. I was supposed to tell you there are not jobs for you. You're wasting your time looking for jobs. You're just going to get more depressed because there's nothing out there for you, and you're wasting your days doing that when you need to get writing on these books, because you guys have so much information to share with the world. So every one of you who's on there right now who is in that age group, you need to write. And you can't, and you need to put a fire under your ass. You need to make this every day. If you're not working, you need to be putting in hours of writing. Those books have to get out, and you guys are all, every one of you who does this and does not run from it and is really going to do it, is going to be able to live the rest of your life in a really sweet, incredible space, because everything you guys are bringing is going to be a really big kind of whatever it is, because it can, like this one woman, she's writing a novel with witchcraft and stuff. I'm like, perfect, they'll love it, you know. But it's just that you guys have a lot to share, and that's why everything has worked out the way it has, and you're at this place now. But every one of you is to write books. So I hope that helps you, and I know it does. I can already feel like this squeal, because you know it. And you've just needed a little push, you know, and it was a huge push, and the words were so loud and so like definitive, you know. It was like and tell them and tell them, don't go out for any jobs, there are no jobs for you, you're wasting your time. You know, it came out like that. So that's cool. And I think I'm going to cut it at that, and I will get back with the Mercury retrograde, and there's probably things happening I don't even know about, because I just ride this wave and I don't even need to know anymore. It's all good. I'm having a wonderful Mercury retrograde. I'm having a wonderful time going back and fixing all these things that were not in order. This is actually a really great time to work on all those thought processes. So, and really get them out of the ego because we're in Aquarius. So really align them to that safe, that humanitarian vibe, that taking care of your brothers and sisters vibe, not being so consumed with you and your problems and nothing's ever going to work for me, but going out to help other people and thinking about them, even just like wishing things for others, you know, praying for others, you know, seeing and not being competitive when people are having good things. That's a really important one. I've been told to tell you guys over and over and over, are not like jealous. The quickest way to success, one of the secrets of 2014, is to totally and utterly squeal with delight and happiness over hearing about other people's good fortune. So the quickest way for you to have that, to have what they have, is to totally celebrate them having it now. So it's so important that we get like that and just like, yay, I'm so happy for you, you know, even if you're like, that's exactly what you want to be happening to you and it's never come, you know, that's your sign. You're meeting people who have it so that you have this opportunity to be happy for them, and then you will have it too. So, okay, we're going to call it a day. I'm going to come back with astrology talk next. Because, yeah. Anyway, you know, I'll keep going on for 20 more minutes. I stopped. I was like, we're done. Okay. All right. I love you all, and I hope you feel better after this video, and I will come forward and bring another video for you, maybe in the next couple days, maybe even